Welcome, friends, to the Gaijin Animation Appreciation Hour with your hosts, Sig Bisley and Colt Mauser. Before we get started, please be sure to like this video and subscribe for more content just like this. Now, let the animation appreciation commence.
Are you ready? Are you ready for the absolute pinnacle of 90s edgelord mecha anime? Because if you're not, you better hit that back button because it's coming in hot. Hot as hell.
If it's the pinnacle of 90s edgelord anime, I mean, they started out early because the last episode was 1990.
I said it came out hot. Hot as hell.
Apparently. What the hell are we talking about? We're talking about Hades Project ZEORYMER.
Everything got steadily more pussy towards the end of the 90s, so it was the pinnacle.
Yeah. It's that crossover between the late 80s, early 90s where
what
a lot
year
of
was
the dankest
hotter
stuff
than
is.
like 1990? 89, 90? Some really good shit came out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pinnacle of hand-drawn animation.
Yeah. Late 80s, early 90s is the pinnacle for hand-drawn animation. You're not wrong.
Anyway, enlighten me.
All right. ZEORYMER is not the pinnacle of hand-drawn animation, but it's pretty good.
No.
So this is a 4-episode OVA that was released from 1988, to 1990. It is directed by Yoshiki Hirano, whose newest work that I could find was the newer Baki that's on Netflix. He also did Fight Exzer 1,
Damn right.
Devil Lady, and Magic Knight Ray Earth, among some other things.
Damn. Devil Lady was kind of terrible, but everything else is like super.
Devil
solid.
Lady would be great if the ending wasn't good, but we're not talking about Devil Lady today. Anyway, Sho Aikawa is the writer. Sho Aikawa has done a number of things. So he's done some live action stuff, actually. He did Bokenger, Geki Ranger, if you're into that Sentai. Did Kamen Rider Blade.
Oh, yeah.
Did the Casherin OVA, the older one. Did Vampire Princess Miu. He did Angel Cop. And, what did he write? Rutsukadoji, Legend of the Overfiend.
Nice.
And its sequels. So, play a little dirty. It's from Studio AIC and Art Mix, so done a lot of the stuff we talked about. Tenchi Muyo, Record Lotus War, we talked about those yet. Godanner, Oh My Goddess, Pumpkin Scissors, Exzer 1, Genesis Survivor Guyarth, Medical Skin Panic Maddox 1. Listen, AIC and Art Mix were crushing it back in the day.
Damn Skippy.
And it's also based on something. So it's actually based on a manga that was published in Lemon People, which is also where the Exzer manga was published. So a lot of crossover there. And the manga was done by Chimi Moriwo, which was actually the pen name of Yoshiki Takaya. Let me say this again. Yoshiki Takaya. Yoshiki Takaya. What did Yoshiki Takaya do? Oh, only the manga Bio Boosted Armor Guyver.
God damn. That guy's got a resume.
Yeah. Just Guyver alone is good. So, anyway, what the hell happens in Hades Project ZEORYMER?
Do tell.
So, it starts out with it's got that explanation going on. It explains to you the setting. It's got an organization called Tekoryu or How Dragon.
They did that so much in those
Yeah.
OVAs. They just have the narrator tell you put you in the scene.
Yep.
It's kind of funny.
And it's a secret Chinese organization. It starts out and it's either alternate reality for us or it's slightly in the future or it's hard to tell.
I felt like it was slightly in the future personally.
Yeah, probably, but it still feels a little alternate
It
reality.
had kind of that cyberpunk future. It wasn't really.
It wasn't very cyberpunk.
No, but it had that feel where it was just slightly in the future, and big corporations this, big corporations that.
Yeah, very very common theme. Anyway, they got a new leader, this organization, and they're trying to take over the world. But first, they're obsessed with repossessing. I guess it is repo, and they're gonna repo the ZEORYMER, which was stolen 15 years earlier by my boy Masaki Kihara, who's probably the biggest dick in all of history. It had schemes. Boy, does he have some schemes.
It's hard to think of a bigger dick.
So they built these 8 different robots, giant robots. A lot of them are elemental based. There's a fire one and a water one and a couple earth ones and of the heavens and of the moon and whatever else. And they got different pilots, and the pilots are genetically coded to be pilots. And I won't spoil why, but it ties into the whole plot about why they're genetically coded to be the pilots.
Which is totally brutal.
And the last and most powerful one that they created was the Zeorhymer. And, 15 years ago, this guy said, screw this. I want to be king of the underworld. They call it the underworld. I don't know why it's the underworld. Who cares? It looks like the regular world to me. I want to be king of the underworld. So he freaking ran off with a zygote in a tube. And
because they made all the pilots.
Yeah, and Zeorhymer ran off with it, took off, and now 15 years later, they say, all right, we're ready. We're going to go freaking repossess Zeorhymer, and then we're going to rule the world.
Why the fuck would you not do that, though?
Steal Zeorhymer or try to stop him later?
No, you build the robot, you make the plan, you build all the robots, you make the plan, you, make all the, pilots. What the fuck does that? What is that company even doing? You're the guy.
Yeah, but if you had that kind of power and ability, why wouldn't you? His plan makes. We'll get into this. We'll get into why his plan makes no goddamn sense.
I know it's terrible, but still.
Oh, the show is great, but the plan is. We'll get into it. Anyway, you also come across early on. They show you this kid running away, 15-year-old kid, not Masato Akitsu. Sorry, that's the girl. No, that's him. Masato Akitsu, right?
Yeah, it's Masato.
And Miku Himuro is the girl who's
Masato and Miku,
who's like a robot. So he runs into her. She's like an android. They make that pretty obvious early on. And then he gets kidnapped by the organization. Turns out his parents weren't really his parents, and he was raised because he is the zygote that got stolen by Kihara back in the day.
It all makes perfect sense.
And is the pilot for Zeorhymer. And he basically gets shoved in there with no training. He's just like, go deal with these Tech Ryu jerks that are coming after me.
Zeorhymer needs 2 pilots for some reason. None of the other robots do, just Zeorhymer.
Yes. Well, we find out later one's not really a pilot, more so that it is a piece. But anyway, that's what happens to Zeorhymer without getting into it. I mean, it's not Robot of the Week, but he fights the different pilots over various episodes, and then it all comes to a head in episode 4, obviously. And
they're really good.
Slightly ambiguous ending going on. Anyway,
I don't think it was very ambiguous. Nihilistic as fuck.
I don't know that it was that nihilistic. We'll talk about it. So anyway,
well, I mean, yeah. Anyway,
likes. What'd you like about Zeorhymer?
Oh man, it's so metal, it's so brutal. Everybody's backstory is total shit. Everything's total shit. Everything's fuck you. I'm gonna kill the whole everything. It's great. I don't know.
It can be a bit nihilistic.
It's so awesome and edgy and old school.
Edgy is the word I would use. Yeah, I don't think it's depressingly nihilistic. It's
not depressing at all. It's fuck you. I'm taking your shit and I'm gonna murder you.
Very edgelord.
I love it.
Mech designs are freaking great.
Some of my favorites ever. That's the only reason I ever even remember the show exists, because it has some of my favorite designs.
It's got some really cool mech designs.
All pointy.
They're better than Ixer 1. I like the ones in Ixer 1, but they're really good.
Ixer 1, yeah.
Animation's good too. The animation's pretty damn good.
Animation's good. Story's tight. Does not fuck around.
Pacing. I would say the pacing's good. The story.
Well, I mean, the story is none of these have they're not fucking Shakespeare.
It serves its purpose.
Yeah, it gets the job done. Anyway, yes, pacing is excellent. They don't really. I mean, you have backstory because you have to, or you never know what was going on.
But it's not a lot, and it's well placed.
They jam it in pretty seamlessly, so you're not fucking backstory. But
yeah, they don't hit you with a
and
character.
You're kind of happy. Yeah, exactly.
Give you episodes of backstory, which is.
But you're kind of happy when you get the backstory because what the fuck is going on? You got
looking at you, One Piece, by the way. Actually, One Piece does it pretty well, even though they waste episodes on it. Anyway, I also loved how over the top Kihara is.
He's the worst.
He's just such an amazing asshole for no reason. As he starts to take over.
Give you a backstory of why he's the world's biggest asshole.
Yeah, so he's the guy who stole the zygote and Zeorhymer from back in the day, and then a little minor spoiler. He starts taking over the mind of Masato Akitsu, because it's all part of his ridiculous Cobra tier plan.
Oh, it is a Cobra Commander
He's
plan.
Cobra Commander. I swear to God, this whole movie is just a simulation Cobra Commander run to see if his next ridiculous plot would work.
Yeah, it's okay, I know I'm gonna die, so I'm gonna jam my like consciousness into Zeorymmer, and I'm gonna take over the zygote and blah blah blah. Like question
Yeah, when
marks
it comes
profit.
to age, and this is gonna work somehow, and it gets even stupider than that. I won't spoil it. It
Yeah,
just
I don't want to spoil how retarded
it gets very, very GI Joe level with its like ridiculousness. Like
yeah, it's over the top.
there's no logic here. This is just silly. But
And if that guy was the only one doing work on that plan, why the fuck do you need any of these other? Like, why do you need that? Like, I guess like spend their money, but other than that, like,
yeah, who knows? It doesn't have to make sense.
anyway, I would have stole all the robots and bounced because fuck those guys.
Yeah. Yeah, well, why? Why? His plot is so convoluted, and it could be so much simpler. With the level of control he had, he could have made that plot so much easier. He could have literally just taken over back in the day, but he didn't. So whatever.
Then that would have been like a 1 episode OVA.
Yeah, exactly. Wouldn't have had story, but it's one of those things where a lot of things happen just so the story can happen.
Shut up. The plot needs to happen.
Yeah. Anyway,
It does not take away from the entertainment value, though.
No.
Because it's like over the top edgelord, and it's so good.
Dislikes?
Not a ton, really. I mean, it was what it was. If you're looking for fucking Shakespeare, you're going to be disappointed. If you're looking for amazing robot designs,
if you're looking for a really coherent plot,
like,
you're in the wrong place.
yeah. But that's about it. Like, the plot is dumb, but it functions.
I think the ending is unnecessarily ambiguous.
It depends on how you...
Yeah, you just said what I said. It depends.
Yeah,
exactly.
It depends on how you view it. I thought it was super nihilistic, but then if you look at it,
I don't think it was.
way,
I don't think the ending itself was actually nihilistic at all. I think watching it this time I was like, oh, that's not very nihilistic at all. But you could view it either way, so it's very ambiguous.
Yeah, I guess it depends.
Which I guess, you don't need for a 4-episode OVA with this ridiculous plot this thing has. You don't really need that much of a tight ending. It's fine. It does what it needs to do. It ties up enough loose ends. Whatever.
I mean, do you really care?
Exactly.
Like, I mean, I don't get so deep into these OVAs and stuff that I really give a shit.
No,
it's
if
just
I watch
fun time killer entertainment.
If I waste 12 to 13 episodes, or God forbid 26 or 52, that ending better be decent.
Exactly, which is where so many things fail.
When it's a 4-episode OVA and the episodes are 20-something minutes apiece,
yeah, I don't give
as
a
long as
shit.
it entertains me, I don't care.
That's what I'm saying. It's beer and pretzels.
So is that the verdict? Just watch it. It's entertaining.
I would definitely tell anyone to watch it. Even if you're not into like mecha stuff, it's just such a fun blast from the past, like super edgy. I don't know, it makes me nostalgic.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you will be entertained 100%.
Yeah, I agree. Unless, I don't know, all you watch is slice of life stuff, then don't watch this.
It's a slice of life. Kind of.
Yeah, okay.
On that note, we'll catch you next time.
Well, that's all for today, everyone. We'd like to thank all of you for tuning into another episode of the Gaijin Animation Appreciation Hour. Please remember to like and subscribe, and may your entertainment be always, well, entertaining.